Hi there guys, solo mission today at Macassar. Tried to be here early enough so I'm not the first one on the beach, but also still early enough in order to catch some fish right before it hits proper low tide in an hour or two. Solo mission today. There's no one else with me at the moment, not even my own lighties. They've all got their things going on today, and we'll reflect on that a little bit later. But I just mentioned a word which is quite pertinent, reflection, because today is probably going to be the day where I'm going to be reflecting a lot. I'm on my own, so I might be having conversations into the void, into the ethers, with you guys, whoever's watching. Motivations for what we do, what we don't do, that sort of thing. But anyway, I am going to quickly get my rod stands in the ground, and then I'm going to bait up and throw for galjoen, see what I can get. Okay, so that video went on for a little bit too long, so I'm probably not going to end up using it. But The reason why it was running for so long is because there's an insane amount of action in the water, and any one of those minutes that it was running, it could have resulted in a fish coming out. I already had a mussel bait out that got stripped almost instantly. I didn't even have a chance to put my rod in its stand. I then came back here. I noticed that some of my red bait has been defrosted. Put a little bit of red bait on. I wasn't even out of the water and my rod got pulled back flat over my shoulder. There is a huge amount of action in this water. So I'm not going to be shy here. I'm going to be lacing this hook with some red bait. Then I'm going to give it a good smack with a chocker hammer just to make sure that I get a lot of that flavor out of there, so it can do its floaty and attraction thing in the water a little bit. So there's some serious stuff happening here, and I'm so glad I came today. The temptation was to not come when no one else was available to. I'm glad that my late decision to actually come last night is resulting in this. Okay boys, I decided to take you out there with me so you can see what I see. I'm going to take you through this entire process now of going out there and chucking the line in. There's a bit of a current coming from the right, sorry, from the left to right current. It's not immediately apparent when you see the waves coming in from the right to the left, but somewhere where I'm dropping my sinker and my bait, that's where the wave starts straightening out towards the beach, and then it starts running out to the right. So there could be some structure in the water there that's causing the water to split like that, and depending on where you land your bait, it might drift left or right, but I'm willing to go with it just to see what happens. Okay, so I want to go in by about 10-15 meters just to be sure that I get the distance on the cast, because I'm trying to get it there where the breakers are breaking in the back, closest to me. So just hang in there for me. Oh, crab in the water. Please don't bite my toes. Right, let's see. Get this boy out. Oh, there goes everything. Okay, take two. On that cast where my short little 50-pound leader line was attached to my 30-pound braid, it just went, taking my bait, sinker and hook with it. So I quickly had to re-rig, and hopefully this time I can get my bait out there and still catch whatever Galjoen is willing to bite right now. So I really didn't want to waste any time, considering that the sun is up. You don't know for how long they're going to be on the bite. So I'm trying my best here. At least I know there's action in the water. Okay, let's get this cracking. Woo! Here we go. I don't want to go back all the way to my rod stand because the bait hits the water and there's immediately peckers on it. So I don't want to miss my opportunity here. I think things have already died down a bit. I wasn't quick enough, man. Hi there, lads. I apologize if the video footage looks a little bit different from what was recorded earlier. But that's mainly because my iPhone decided that, nah, it doesn't like being on standby so long. So 20% battery left at 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't wanna. So I'm now on my Armor for the rest of the day. Hopefully in 1080p. We'll see. But other than that, I should be able to bring you stuff still. Currently I have an ocky leg out on my main line, and I had to move my red bait line out to the other side because some people arrived that also wanted to throw a line or two, and just made a little bit of space for them on my left. But the bites have died down now. I think we're past that golden hour now after sunup, which is a pity because as I was about to actually get into the gullies, my whole rig came off at the leader. I think the leader was maybe tied to the braid a little bit too tight, and it actually cut the braid. I have no idea because the braid at the end, looks very clean. So I don't know where it could have got nicked, or it possibly just came off on the leader. I don't know. So I'll update you as it goes along. I'm basically just here on my own today, doing my own thing. Well, whatever this is, it's a beautiful day at Macassar, and I could have spent it indoors, but I decided not to. And I'm glad I didn't. Amazing. I just put out a little fish bait on that one over there, seeing as the bites dried up a little bit. Just wanted to see if they want to grab onto some fish. And I still have the ocky leg out on this one. I'll keep you updated. A lot more people just arrived. It seems like everyone is trying to target the pushing tide. So we may be on a little bit later. Learning as we go along, people. Learning as we go along. I quickly wanted to say a few words of thanks for what's happened last night. Two people. One guy used to be at school with me, lived right across the road from me. He's now in the police force. I'm not going to name him by name. He already told me he's quite a private person. And even if I end up going fishing with him one day, I need to keep him off camera. So we'll see if we can work on him with regards to that. But he was instrumental in me being able to find this place in the dark this morning. I didn't quite get here at dark, so it was easier to spot the landmarks. Seeing as I don't know all the different spots at Macassar by heart. He gave me the coordinates to get here in the dark if you have to. So I'm obviously saving that one. Another person that helped tremendously in identifying landmarks and giving an aerial shot of the area was Terrence Simpson. Please go and subscribe to his channel. All you need to do is go search on YouTube for Terrence Simpson Angling. Thanks to G. You know who you are. When you watch this video, you told me that you were watching the video, so I'm a little bit embarrassed because we haven't seen each other in so many years, and now you have to reconnect with me via video looking old and grizzled and fat. But that's how it goes, eh? So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I really do appreciate it. Okay, let's go for a wade, lads. I'm going to get this thing as far as I possibly can behind those waves at the back. It is the pushing tide now. And it's been the pushing tide for the last hour and 20 minutes roughly. So I'm hoping there's some big fish coming over the banks at the back. Watercolor looks nice. Okay. Oh, I walked in very skew over here. Over my other line. Not to worry. Corrected that little error. So let's get it out there. Okay, it's in. Got some action here, boys. There's some serious picking action on my big rod, the choker that I just threw out. That was exciting. I pulled in my big rod and decided, you know what, can't hurt. Take the last defrosted mussel that I have and chuck it out there on a J hook and see what happens. Guys, I kid you not, I wasn't even back at my station and I already felt the pulls. I stopped, put the bail arm over, waited, struck. On the retrieve, lost it. I noticed that I've got like a third of a mussel left and I thought, you know what, head back out there, throw it out, see what happens. Again, didn't even make it back as far as I did the last time. Fish on, and again, off before the side. Now, I have a couple of theories on why that happened. I think it is because I didn't change the sliding sinker and the grab sinker when I changed to a smaller hook. The grab sinker basically keeps on hooking onto the ground and on the reef, and it creates way too many vibrations and stuff, causing the fish to get off the hook. So what I'm now doing is I'm swapping out the sinker for a bottle, and I'm also shortening the sinker trace. And I'm changing the J hook to a 1/0 circle hook. Hopefully that makes any sort of meaningful difference. It would be great if it does, because ideally speaking, I'd like to go home with one of these fish that's been tormenting me the whole freaking day. So, old thumbs, I'll be back with you after I cast in. It's happening thick and fast, boys. I don't even know what time it is. I've lost complete track of time. Look, I literally just put this thing on 5 minutes ago. Had a bite, had a fish on, pulled in, lost a fish, threw it back out when it had this much left on it, like a little bit. Threw that out, immediately thumped, left it for 2 minutes, felt nothing, pulled in, gone. This is utter madness. I literally pulled out my other rod now because I can't attend to both. I'm now going to put a little bit of red bait on this thing, see if that does anything. And I'm going to cut it open so I can at least get some of the guts and stuff out of it. I need to have something. Come on, man. There's so much happening here. but nothing to show for it yet. It needs to happen. It must. It can't not happen. Okay, not even a lot of bait cotton on this. Just to hold it for long enough for a fish to commit. Let's see what happens. Just a little bit. And then, just for good measure, murret, metal, make it juicy. Okay, people, please hold thumbs. Stripped again. There's so much action in this water. I'm actually feeling like I'm fishing, boys. I don't have anything to show for it yet, but I will. If it goes on like this all the way through to high tide, I'm sure I will have something to show for it. This is madness. I felt activity like this before, but it was usually off a cliff, off rock somewhere in what looked like a washing pool beneath. I have never seen this kind of activity just off the beach. I literally have my other rod just standing over there. I can't bait it, I can't get it back in the water, I just don't have the time. Because once this rod is in, I'm standing there waiting to see what's happening. Managing the bumps, the slack line. I just need a fish to properly commit to the hook. That's all. I know they're there. I mean, these hooks wouldn't be sold if people aren't using them. I'm not rigging them badly. I'm not rigging them at an angle. These are fresh mussels that I'm putting on right now. I'm not so sure about the red bait though. I don't know if I'll buy this red bait again. They seem a bit dry. But regardless, they need to eat this. Come on, man. This is utter madness. I have no idea what time it is. This is now my umpteenth cast. Every single time it just comes back stripped. I have honestly no idea what I'm doing wrong. And it's not just me. It's the guys next to me as well. They're also in it. Just like me. It's just not coming out. I mean, look at this. This hook is not very big compared to my hand. You see that? It's a small hook. So, even though I don't have a lot of hope in this red bait over here, that doesn't look very red anymore, I'm going to try and do a combination between the two. This and mussel. Yes, before I go, regardless of what's happening here, I'm having the time of my life. This is craziness. Okay, update. Let me see, what's the time now? Just before 1. I actually expected it to be a little bit later than that. Kind of hungry. Still fishing the pushing tide. Still lots of action in the water. But I am disastrously hungry right now. Some chorizo sausage. A little piece of steak. Nothing better than some protein to sustain you while you are out here fishing. I'm running out of things to do. Or try. Do I go with a smaller hook? Do I go with a bigger hook? Do I change back to a J hook, but slightly smaller than the one I used last time? I have no idea what to do. What a slog. Thirsty. Like a big boy, I brought a big boy drink. Ooh, burns. The other rod has now been permanently removed from the water. I'm currently alternating between red bait and mussel. I'm going to be running out soon. I need to be getting one of these little buggers. Okay, so I finally have my fish. I didn't blank today, boys, but it wasn't quite the call I was looking for. Cute little shit.
but not the galjoen I was looking for. But I'll take it. Didn't blank. Let's go release. Good lad. Well, I was running the risk of blanking today. I'm not going to say no to that one. I mean, it came in at, let's see here, around about 3 o'clock. I'm planning to leave in about an hour, around about 4ish. Still lots of bites in the water. I resorted to cutting up choker head, and that's what I caught the shark on, piece of the choker head. I just made another small bait on the J hook with some of that choker head in the guts, and I'm hoping to hook into something edible before I go. If I don't, it's fine. I got my fish. I didn't blank today, boys. Today I've been throwing a lot of bait for galjoen. The guys next to me, standing over there, they're gone now. For 2 cob, size cob. They took it home. And I took my cob bait off earlier this morning because I thought it was hindering my chances of catching a galjoen. So now, when I'm supposed to be going home, I I have a cob bait in the water. There's some serious pulls happening on that thing. The water's dead flat in front with a little bit of waves, but it's a very, very deep hole in front. Yeah, at Arse Bunkies. Some people have already left, but there's still a lot of activity left in this water. So I'm sticking around for a bit until I absolutely have to go. Because if I can take home another cob to complement the shark that I caught today, that would be massive. It was a gorgeous day though. Holy smokes. I think I have gotten as much out of this day as I possibly can. There's still some pulls on the rod, but I've got a suspicion it might just be sharks trying to latch onto the bait. It is a rather large hook that I got on there. I think it's a size 5.0 circle hook. But with the tide going out, it's also now got this terrible side current. I basically need to cast in that direction, and currently my line is lying there. So it's 4:30, and I'm actually contemplating reeling this in, packing the rods away, taking my time, and then heading home. It's been a highly enjoyable day with just me, myself, and Irene. Don't tell my wife. She says, who wouldn't want to spend a day out here like this? Huh? Insane. Are they? Someone remarked the other day that it looks like I'm losing weight. I didn't sit today. Since I got here, I've been on my feet. I didn't even sit down in the car to have something to eat. Maybe that's why I'm losing weight. Fishing and refusing to sit down. Well, that and 0 sugar drinks, maybe. Well, look, it's been an awesome day. And I might still head into some reflection a little bit later on. And but I think that may need to wait until I'm actually at home and I can sit and talk into the camera without having to drive. There is something I need to get off my chest, and how it like ties into the whole fishing thing, and just getting out there and giving your mind and your body a break from the norm. We'll chat to you shortly.
Hi there, lads. Standing out here at my braai, and I'm going to give you that moment of reflection that I was speaking about yesterday. I didn't know how I wanted to word it yet. There's every now and again you might hear my cat meow, but just excuse that. My uncle died this week. Now, that in and of itself isn't that surprising. I mean, old people do pass on. I'm almost half a century old, which means, uncles and aunts very likely are 70 and older. And these things do happen. But about a year and a half ago, myself and my family went to Namibia to go visit family. And I noticed that the people in Swakop had this very, very specific way of life, which instantly seemed very appealing to me. Now, I used to be a very outdoorsy kind of person, but then as you grow older and you get stuck into your business and family life, you retire from club sports, that sort of thing, you gain weight, you just get lackluster. You don't seem to do the things that you used to do anymore, and you don't understand why you are feeling like there's something missing in your life. It's at that point, a year and a half ago in Namibia, where I noticed that I probably needed to make a change in my life, and I'm trying to involve my kids and my wife as much as humanly possible in that change. Mainly because when you can do the things that I'm doing currently over weekends, seeing new places, fishing, camping, that sort of thing, you make memories. And it's those memories that's going to go on, after I'm gone. Your legacy shouldn't just be what you ended up providing for your family. And the time that you spent working hard, it should also be the time that you spent with them as much as possible. That is why I started fishing late last year. It's something I wanted to do earlier, but I thought, it's winter, why even try fish? And then one day I just decided, I'm going to go throw a line in the water at Melkbos in the middle of August. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Did it with all the wrong gear. Everything kept on washing out. It started raining. It was uncomfortable. But the water was remarkably warm, considering that it is Melkbos. I came home, and I half expected myself by the time that I get home, I would be telling myself, this is not for me. The reverse happened. As uncomfortable as that day was, I distinctly remember telling my wife, I think I'm hooked. And I still am. And that is why we will ever be, or forever be, like I say in most of my videos, the optimist when it comes to angling. Even when I don't catch anything, I know I will eventually. Now this brings me to my uncle that died this week. My dad passed in 2011. And even now, when I think back on that, I think of all the time that we won't have together anymore. Now, I can never, ever, ever say that my dad never did anything with me, because he did. Every single papgooi carp fishing trip that he went on, which didn't happen very often, but every single time he did that, it was us as a family that went, or at the very least myself and an uncle or a friend or something. And every time it was an uncle, it was this uncle that passed away. Now, this uncle of mine was a family man, and he was a rugby player in his younger years. And then they moved from the Ceres area to the Cape Town area back in the mid to late 80s, actually. I still remember sitting on their carpet in their lounge, watching a barbarian game of the Springboks being played against some barbarians or something, and we won. Naas Botha in the team, Dani Gerber in the team, if I remember correctly. It was an amazing time. This uncle was also a good dude, a solid guy, a man's man. He was a masculine dude without letting people know around him that he will be able to F them up if need be. He treated people right as much as he possibly could, and he lived for his family. By trade, he was a truck driver. And whenever he was home, he went balls to the wall. Loved his brandy and coke. Loved to smoke. But above else, he loved to braai and have family over and just have a good time. Since my dad passed away, I've always held out, getting together with my uncle and having a braai with him, because that is second best. Because apart from my dad, this man was by far, especially in my formative years, he was my other male role model. So, this video might be a small gesture, but this is a tribute to my uncle. The guy that taught me what it was to be a family man, but also taught me that when the time comes to let your hair down properly, because if you're not going to do it, you may not ever have another chance to do it. I'm never going to be able to have a braai with him. I'm never going to be able to have another braai with my dad. The only thing I can do is to make sure that whatever I do from here on out, my kids have all the braais they can with me. All the trips and fishing trips and camping trips and sightseeing trips that they can with me before I'm gone. This is why I do this. Not just to reset my own batteries and find a way to unwind for the next week of nonsense that you have to deal with in work, but to build memories, create a legacy, create the things that the people you love can remember you by when you are no longer there. So this is just my urge to you guys. Recognize that time in our lives are not infinite, and it's probably a good thing to start making changes in your life if you deem them necessary. I know this is a dark way to end the video, but hopefully it's also uplifting. See you on the next one.